Going back to an interesting point you mentioned also before the podcast, it was about choosing and picking friends, which kind of ties into this. How do you pick your friends, for example? Because obviously with subjective things, people's opinions differ loads. And how do you actually tell, in your opinion, if someone's genuine or worth being
That's a
around?
very interesting thing, you know, like you just asked me a very interesting thing because I'm really grateful that this, okay, I don't want to sound really mean, but
Hmm.
I'm really grateful that this pandemic happened because, you know, in this pandemic, we are kind of having this self-reflection moment,
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
yeah,
right?
of course.
And
Yeah.
and we are kind of realizing that all the choices we've been making all
Have
our
led us to
life
this moment.
since decades, right? They could be wrong. And the same thing happened to me. Like I kind of questioned all the things I've concluded, all the things that I decided for myself, okay, throughout my 3 decades of life.
Yeah.
And now definitely I feel like a total different person. Okay,
Hmm.
not total different person, but like I would say I'm more transparent. Like, you know, the
Yeah.
cover, the disguise I was having before the
Yeah.
pandemic, like just to be
You've just
approved by other
learn to be
people.
yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was myself back then, but like I was wearing this disguise just to, you know, just to be accepted by people,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I agree because that was my situation too.
Yeah.
Um, my case, it was I based my personality based off other people's personalities to also kind of fit in and then become the medium of it. Because there's a
Yeah.
good saying, your net worth is your net worth. So the five closest people you hang around, you become the median of the people. So if you're not hanging around good people, then you're not going to be a good person, you know? And
Absolutely.
that's the way I perceive it.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, in this pandemic, thankfully, I realized that okay, what were the wrong things I've been doing, and
Hmm.
where I was kind of misleading myself, even though I knew where I was going, but I was just, you know, wearing this sort of um, kind of. I was. What's the word I'm looking for? Like it's like, you know, kind of refusing yourself.
Well, false
You believe
identity,
in something, but you're kind of denying that.
hypocrisy,
I
kind
mean,
of, is it?
definitely. I mean, that's part of hypocrisy, but okay. Anyway, so the point is that you know that it's not truth,
Yeah,
but like you're still kind of insisting being someone else,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
It's there. It was there actually, and I kind of, the more I'm realizing it, the more transparent I'm becoming these days. Actually,
yeah,
since 2020 actually,
yeah. What
and
was the
now
point of realization though for you? What actually was there any trigger calls to make you think like, hold on, something isn't right here, or I could be doing something different, or did it just come with time, or was there like a catalyst to the whole
yeah,
process?
I mean, it kind of involves a lot of things, not just one, but okay, I mean, I will tell you as much as I can. For
Hmm.
example, you know, in terms of meeting new people, in terms of making friends, let's say, okay.
Right.
Uh, so you kind of want to find a common ground, common interest, right? But
Yeah.
you just don't, for example. And in my case, I was not able to find a common ground with most of the people I've met before, you know, the pandemic. But even then, because I didn't want to be alone. I didn't want to, you know, feel like I was kind of escaping from this feeling of being lonely. Okay. And because of that, I was just accepting everyone. I was just welcoming any kind of energy, even if it's a negative energy, even if it's toxic. I was just welcoming it in my life. And that was kind of hitting me. It was hurting
Yeah.
me. It was kind of putting a shell, you know?
Draining.
Yeah. So, like, I was even forgetting myself because I
Hmm.
wanted them so much, right?
Yeah.
And exactly this is exactly why I'm thankful for this pandemic, that okay, besides whatever happened, i mean I'm sad, you know, what happened, how many lives we've lost, you know, because of the coronavirus, but uh the main point is that because of this isolation, we were able to figure out what was preventing us from being ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, that's exactly the point. like this is exactly what I mean by, being kind of, how do you say
Honest
it,
with yourself, I think.
honest, and kind of find the core of yourself, who you
Yeah,
are actually.
Yeah.
Okay, so not denying that. I mean, even if you feel like a child, sometimes I do. Okay, I feel like a child, actually, like a very young child. I want to hop around. I want to do stupid things. Like I want to do that
Yeah.
just to feel happy. I
yeah,
don't need some outer energy, some outer
yeah,
projection,
yeah.
to
Happiness comes within, and it's if it makes you happy, then it's not stupid at the end of the day. Because
why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? So like that's what I wanted, okay, but I couldn't because, being in my 30s, I'm supposed to act like a very adult, sophisticated adult, This is
Yeah.
a
yeah,
cliche.
right. But
It's out
it's
there.
it's
Yeah,
But that's
kind of
what's
like the
like,
stereotype of society.
yeah, I was about to say that.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
So
I think,
that's one.
yeah, I think as cliche as it sounds, all people have been saying it all along, but it's definitely the media, because even if very small minorities of people, like for example, let's take hyper successful people, are put on media, and then millions of people see this on media, they assume that is a lot more people that are hyper successful than there actually is. Especially
Absolutely.
a lot of things I've been watching recently, for example, self
Mm,
development. People show
mm,
their morning routine, stuff like that, but then for example, Alex Costa's video was just reviewed by PewDiePie,
mm.
and when he was reacting back to the PewDiePie video, he did admit that is like the perfect morning, and things on media should not be taken literally. And another guy I follow recently just said the same thing. You know, people want to they think they have to hustle 24/7 to get somewhere. That's not the reality of it. No one
Yeah.
has the inner motivation to generally do something 24/7. Like you need a break to be human at some point. So I think it's definitely the perception of media that's been ruining people from the inside, because since we see it, we assume it's automatically true because, oh well, the
Absolutely.
media should tell the truth, but it's the complete opposite. I think right now the media is
Yeah.
just lying to people, and
Yeah.
that's why so many people have been depressed, and bad things have happened accordingly. But it's definitely
Yeah.
the false perception people have now,
Yeah, and
and especially because it's so widespread.
that's the
Yeah.
power of social media as well, because it applies to people's fear of missing out, and also like self comparison towards these people, as we see like Instagram and things like that are highlights really. You don't see
Mhm.
everything that goes behind the scenes, especially with like Kanye West and Kim that filed for divorce.
Yeah.
No, just as an example, everything on the
Yeah. No.
surface was like they're like the king and queen of like pop culture and stuff at the minute, but
Absolutely. Yeah.
it all went
Yeah.
down the drain. And people compare themselves to that. It's like, why are they so perfect and then they're suddenly not together?
Yeah, and then
It's not the
it'd be
case. Yeah.
like it has to be the people that are on the highlights admitting it's a highlight for it to actually set in that it's not reality. Because,
Hmm.
well, I don't even know why people do it in the first place. Whether it's to make themselves feel better than other people. Is that the reason why they post things like that? Or
That's exactly the reason I think.
because, yeah,
It,
I think
Yeah.
if people do that, they're already underneath you and they're just trying to make themselves feel
Yeah.
better at the cost of others, which is automatically at the end of the day draining for everyone. I think, because
Yeah.
one day that person's going to sit down and realize they've been going wrong for the majority of their life, and well, it's too late to change anything because the damage has been done.
You've also got to
You know.
imagine that most things on social media as well are advertising based. So
Yeah,
they are
that's
selling an image about their product. Well, back with Kanye West again, he's selling the like lifestyle of his Yeezy products and everything
Yeah.
associated with them, because it's branding, it's marketing, it's advertisement, and that's why people compare themselves to these people.
I like. There was this, spokesperson in our art community class, and he told us that. Well, he's quite a senior guy,
hmm
and he's based in California. And then he was, sharing this his life experience with us, and as an artist, and he was saying that after his 20s, he realized that when he entered his 30s, and then when he entered his 40s and 50s and so on and so forth, he kind of like he found this, common pattern every decade after his 20s, that everything is repeating itself. Like all challenges are in the same pattern. They're getting, like they're getting repetitive in a way. So life is kind of testing you again and again every decade with the same level, like same intensity of challenges. Okay. And now it's up to you how you kind of sustain that level of strength, you know, like you can act like a weak guy if you want. You can be in your 50s, you can act much weaker than you were in your 20s. Okay, so it's completely up to you. The point here is that the pattern repeats itself, right? So people who are kind of, you know, doing this most people are falling for this fame, right? Fame and kind of uh, being accepted by everyone, being seen as a, I don't want to say it, but being seen as a superior being,
Yeah,
right? Like on top of the
Like a
other people.
privileged person.
Absolutely. I mean,
yeah.
in comparison with our ancient civilizations, it's no different actually, because in our ancient cultures, there were peasants, there were lords. Okay,
Yeah, there's
it's not any
hierarchy.
Yeah.
different. It's not too different. Whatever we are seeing in corporates, you know, you see the same pattern. Like there are lords, there are managers, and newbies are after satisfying just, you know, climb up the ladder, corporate ladder. Okay, it's happening everywhere, whether people accept it or not. So the entire culture has been modernized. Yeah, okay. No one's life is getting terminated. It's fine. It's not happening anymore because back then, you know, you were the punishment was like death sentence, right?
Yeah.
It's not happening anymore.